bottom at all, Jimmy? Not the bottom, no. Still on black, pretty good. No one's mentioned down there inside the line yet. I just don't want to be the first one. I saw out there doing that last year.
That's a concern for Kevin Harvick, and it's a concern for those of us watching all of these practices. They use the tire dragon to create a groove, but it looks like hardly anybody in either the Cup or Xfinity practices has ventured below it, as Kevin mentioned, or above it.
Yeah, and what Kevin's talking about, I remember last year him being down on that yellow line, and you can see there's not any rubber down by the yellow line. There's pretty much just the tracks of your tears almost. I mean, look, that groove was here when we got here, and it hadn't really moved any. I mean, they've been running right that same groove ever since we got here. Nobody can go up. Every time somebody goes up, they hit the wall, or y'all wish they hit the wall, so no grip above the black.
What I heard out of Kevin Harvick's voice is, I don't want to be the first one there. I think there's going to be a group down there, and I think it's going to be one that can benefit them at some point in the race, and whether it be a restart or whether it be later in the race when you're trying to pass somebody. Just don't be the first one there.
Yeah, well, see, I think that's a problem here, and it's just what you said. It's kind of hard to pass here. It's a big, wide racetrack. I understand that. But with the groove as narrow as it is, and I'm starting in the back, I don't think I'm just going to warm out a whole bunch of cars and work my way right to the front. I think it's going to take a while because of the way the track's being run right now.
1965.
What happened?
Smokey Robinson and the Miracle.
Tracks about tears.
Exactly.
I was wondering where that was.
Take a good look at
that was good. I mean, that was good. The way you slid that in there was just brilliant.
Had you grown up in the days of AM radio, you would know all of this, because that's all we have.
Well, I know who Smokey Robinson is, but
you know who Smoke Johnson is, then? Smoke Johnson, by the way, it's a name that Tony Stewart used when he didn't want anybody to know he was racing someone. So he became Smoke Johnson.
Jamie?
Well, Chase Elliott, we've been talking about him the last 2 days. He comes to Michigan. We expect him to be fast. He was second both races last year, but I talked to the team before this practice and said, all right, what's on the agenda? And they said, wholesale changes. They said the balance of the car has been good, especially this morning, but the speed has just been lacking. So they threw a bunch at it for this practice to see if they can find any of that speed.
Kyle Busch in this 18 car, I've been watching him the entire first practice as well as this practice. This must be about a dozen times he has practiced at pit road speed. Now, pit road speed is 55. They'll give him up to almost 60. But remember, the monitor is set up where the teams can look at where he's maybe too fast or maybe where he can actually get a little bit quicker. But he continues to practice pit road speed.
All right, I'll tell you why. I don't want to harp on last week, but he had that race won last week, and I feel like they didn't execute properly. And he sure doesn't want to have the fastest car again this week like he does and have a pit road speeding penalty keep him from winning a race. So he wants to nail his part. He wants to keep his part right.
He's coming into the garage here.
You know, that's a pretty good-looking car. The way that the design and the M&Ms and the way it all plays out, pretty good-looking car.
And Kyle, to follow up on Kyle Busch, he has a pretty good pit stall because he's at the next to the last pit box leaving, right behind pole sitter Kyle Larson. So he's got a long way to go before he gets to his pit box.
And how many times have we seen pit road penalties play a major factor in the outcome of these races? It is a very important part of what you said, DW, the execution of putting a perfect race together. And I think really that's the focus as we ride along here with Dale Earnhardt Jr., but that's the focus of Kyle Busch and that 18 team. I think they feel like we've had the cars to win these races the last maybe 3-4 weeks, but we haven't executed it properly. Let's go do that, and I bet we get that win.
Dale Jr. Tickled 212 miles an hour into the corner. We've seen up to 216, and he's also 212 into turn 3, which is a little sharper entry.
Yeah, we've got a tailwind down the back straightaway and a little bit of a headwind, so we're not seeing as high of speeds down the front straightaway into turn 1 as we saw yesterday. We're seeing a little bit more on the back straightaway, about the same.
I've been pretty impressed with Dale Jr. in several weeks. Starting in Charlotte, they started using some of Jimmy Johnson's information. I know they set the car up a little bit like Jimmy's. He ran really good at Dover. He ran really good at Poconos. They had a problem. And he got speed here today. They're not on the right side of the scoring marker like I have seen a lot. They're over here on the left up near the top.
Well, and if you listen to his throttle trace, you watch his steering wheel, you looked at the line from the roof camera, this car looks good, DW. I like what I'm seeing. He looks very comfortable, and the speed is there because he's 8th on their time chart.
Final practice for Sunday's 400-mile race in Michigan. Here's the fastest cat in the alley, Kyle Busch.